Hello, it is Crochet by Natalie Lucille, and today we are going to learn a variation of the puff stitch. And this is a pattern, I guess you could say, is a 3-loop puff stitch. So what you want to do is, I'm working with worsted weight yarn and an H 5mm hook. I have made my slip knot, and in this pattern, I guess you could say, it's going to be chaining multiples of 2 plus 3. So I think I want to do 16 plus 3. So I'll just kind of keep it even like that. And that way the swatch, I guess you could say, is large enough. So we're going to do 16 plus 3. So chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 plus 3. 1, 2, and 3. So you can check out my previous videos too if you are a beginner in crocheting, and I do have a chaining video that you can watch. In the 5th chain from the hook, we are going to work our first 3-loop puff stitch. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and working in the back ridges of the chain, we are going to do our first puff, and it is a yarn over, insert it into the specified stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, insert, yarn over, oh gosh, then you're going to yarn over and pull through all of these on your hook. It can be a little tight. Okay, we're gonna grab that. There we go. We got it all. And just pull that through. So there is your first puff stitch. And then you're going to chain 1, skip 1 ridge chain, and you're going to do a puff in here. So it's yarn over, insert, yarn over, draw up, yarn over, insert again, oops, into the stitch, yarn over, draw up, and try and keep it as organized or neat as possible, yarn over, insert into that same stitch right here, yarn over, draw up, so you have all your loops on your hook, yarn over, draw through all 10 million of them, just like that. And that is your second puff stitch. And something, let me pull that out. There we go. There we go. Yes. Chain 1, skip. You're going to insert in this one and do another puff stitch. And this is just my variation of a puff. I don't know, there's tons of ways that you can do it. This is just, I guess a 3 loop, but really it ends up being 1, 2, 3, 4, it's like 5, 6, almost like 6 loops that you have to pull through, just like that. Chain 1, and you're going to do this all the way to the end of the row. Skip, you're going to go insert into here. Keep doing that. I find the foundation row sometimes the most tedious, because after you work the foundation, it seems to be a little bit easier. So here you've pulled up all your loops there. You're going to yarn over and draw through. And so you kind of turn your hook down. It's just easier to kind of go through all of them, because if you notice, your yarn has like this certain kind of teardrop, upside down teardrop shape. And if you try and pull it through here, it might get stuck a little bit. So I just like to turn it down as I work it through all those loops. So you're going to yarn over, turn your hook down, but still grab that yarn and pull it through. And you just kind of have to piece it through, because some might want to get stuck on some of the loops because it's a lot to work through, but you do make it through the other side. And then sometimes it just has a little bit more to work through. There we go. And it just wants to get a little stuck. Did that one get, hold on. And even I have to work through this as well. Let's see. Something happened. We're going to do that puff again, because I am not sure where we got stuck. Let's do that one again. So we skipped that ridge. We're going to go into this one. The way through. Sometimes when you're working your puff stitch kind of loosely, it's easier to get all of your I guess loops on the hook so they don't get semi-tangled up. Yarn over, draw through again, yarn over, insert, draw up. So that one's kind of tight. Yarn over, and then just kind of slowly piece your way through. So even going through it wants to be finicky. So that's what your puff stitch is starting to kind of look like. So we've already chained. I'm going to go into here. Maybe 16 was a bit much to kind of do a sample, but still just makes a really pretty design. Yarn over, draw through. That was a good one to go through. We're almost to the end. We're going to do, oops. So we're on our last one. After this one, when you come to the end, you're going to finish your puff. If I can get my hook through there. You will not chain. Well, actually, I'm sorry, I've got one more to go. I thought it was at the end. So we do have this one, because there's our last chain. Okay. Last puff. Oh, I did not bring that. There we go. I'm going to make sure that you give it some room for your hook to go through. And on this last puff, at the end of the row, you are not going to chain one. You're just going to make a double crochet in the last stitch. Let's get that in there. Probably for the puff stitch, you may want to use, I probably should have used an eye hook with the worsted weight, but it still makes a pretty design. So there you have your first row. What you want to do So you want to chain 4 and turn your work. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in your chain 1 spaces here, you're going to work your puff stitches. So right inside here. Oops, I was working a double crochet. Let's not do that. We're going to work our first puff stitch, and this pattern is really simple to do because the entire pattern is just that puff, chain 1, and you're going to work that all the way across. So our next puff stitch right inside the space, draw up, draw up, draw up, yarn over, and then draw through all of your loops, chain 1. And again, it'll continue all the way across, and I'll go ahead and pause it and work my way. I'll be right back. Now we're at our last puff that we'll do for this row. So I went ahead and made your regular puff stitch all the way across. You're going to puff, you're going to puff in this space here. And then chain 1. And you're going to double crochet in this turning chain here. If I can get it, there we go. And so there you have it. A neat little puff stitch. And you just continue on with the pattern all the way up. And so when you are on this one here, when you work the next row, you're going to chain 3. I'll just show you real quick. So you'll chain 3. You will not work a chain, I guess, in between, but you're going to work your first puff stitch in this space here. So you see how it almost like staggers it. So your first puff here. Over. Oops, I dropped it. There we go, like that. And then again, you'll just chain 1. My yarn does not want to cooperate today. And then you'll work your next puff stitch in the next chain 1 space. Next. And then just pull it through, all the way through, and then chain 1. So you're going to work this all the way across until you get your desired length. And there you have it. That is the puff stitch. I call it the 3-loop puff stitch. So there are different variations, but I hope that helps. So until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.